Hello, everybody. My name is Milena, and I'm part of Jump Into Freedom members. Jump Into Freedom is a community for women, for expat women, to help them to be to travel more and to share their opinion, opportunities, or experiences, and so on. Today, we are here to talk about mobility programs. Hello, Laura. Nice to see you. Laura wrote to us hello. Okay, so we are going to present some mobilities program because for the ones that don't know already, we prepared a booklet, a guide for mobility programs. And we managed, thanks to the experience that I had, me personally, I had, and also Laura, the founder of Jump Into Freedom, has. We prepare 14 programs, and if you are interested on seeing some of them, or of course all of them, you can join us, and you can even buy the booklet from our platform or our website. And as well, we are going to have some coffee talks to share some of these experiences, some of these volunteering. So today with us, we have a special guest, Diana. Hello, Diana. How are you?
Hello, Milena. Good morning. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me today.
Thanks to you to be here. And Diana, she was an Ivy volunteer last year, and she had the opportunity to spend half an year abroad thanks to this program. Because actually not many people know that EVS is not the only options, but there are many other. So Diana, would you like to tell us a bit about who you are? What do you do?
So, hello, everyone, and thanks for joining today. I'm Diana. I'm from Hungary, and I'm 29 years old. I spent my IB in Austria, in Vienna, and I studied Hungarian and English literature, and I was always working and interested in communication, and even I did my IB in this topic.
That's so cool. It sounds very interesting. Did you enjoy it? Why did you decide to go for an IB program?
I was already working when I started to go abroad because I was actually very jealous of my colleagues because everybody did Erasmus and some kind of mobility programs. They traveled a lot, and I didn't have any travel experience or work experience abroad. And so I kind of did a gap here because I was in another program before my IB, and then half a year abroad. So it was really nice, and actually it didn't affect my career in a bad way because now I'm still working in communication, and even my IB was about that field. So it actually helped my career a lot. So don't be afraid to make a break or move abroad. Volunteer, it can be very helpful.
That's great, actually.
And
I did.
sorry.
No, tell us.
We really appreciated my experience abroad as an IB. So it was never negative that I basically skipped 1 year from my 9 to 5 job and did another experience. And I traveled to 10 countries during that one gap year I did. So it was really nice, both professionally and personally.
So you receive many benefits, right, for yourself, but also what kind of benefits you can get from an IB program?
As you may know, the IB program is a paid program, so you have enough money to cover your living costs and expenses. My travel expense was also covered. For me, it was special because I only went from Budapest to Vienna, which is close, so I didn't have to fly. I went by car, but even that was calculated by the kilometers, and it was paid. I even had a language course, so I studied 3 months in a German language course after work.
Cool.
And it was also really nice. And I had a chance to travel. So with my IB, I was in Berlin, I was in Brussels to meet other IBs. So it was really I cannot say anything wrong about my experience, honestly.
I've been an Navy volunteer as well. I did my experience for 4 months, and I can see some similarities. Actually, in my case, it was quite far away because from Italy, I moved to Poland. So I had to take the flight, but as well, it was paid. So it was very good for me. I've never been in Poland before, so it was interesting to discover a new culture as well. And also, I think that the aim that Ivy has, it's something different if you connect it, if you think about an EVS. Because, for example, I did even an EVS, and I saw that in the EVS program you are more going to have an impact on a community, while in the Ivy program it's more an international experience. So it will allow you to travel more to several countries. I did it as well because I had the opportunity to move for a short period to Germany, to Lithuania, to visit other places, because actually the aim of this program is to is to boost cooperation among regions. So it's very great actually if you are looking for something where you can also experience traveling, different cultures and so on. And also it's good that you had the language course. Actually, I didn't. I think it's something that it's very great because how is it going now with your German? Do you manage to speak a bit?
Well, my second language after English, but I'm still not fluent in German, so don't expect that. But it was really nice to. I managed to go to a restaurant and ask my food in German, or go and do the shopping in German. So for those basic things, I think it's always good to speak the local language at any level, or at least some basics. And it even helped me after, because after that, after the IB, I started to work in an Austrian team. So I knew about the culture. I knew about Vienna when I traveled there, and with some general knowledge about the Austrians and their culture and their language. So it was really nice. But I think it's particularly that the Austrian governments give you this opportunity to study the language when you are living there. So
That's good.
it was not an IB opportunity, but my organization and the country.
Yeah,
So
in fact, what I wanted
everybody has it.
to underline is also that when you move abroad through a program, you also have some support from the organization that hosts you. So, for example, you can have a mentor who could guide you through the bureaucracy, for example, of the nation, or to find a good language course, or to find new friends in different way. So I think it's very cool, and it's very cool also that even if was not paid, let's say, by the Ivy program, still was good for you to have it. It's important. And
Yeah.
how was your first day when you arrived there? Do you remember it? When it was?
That was so nice. So this is not my favorite question, because I was really very afraid. And if you can imagine that everything bad can happen, that it happened to me. So it was really, I arrived on a Sunday, and I didn't know, for instance, that on Sundays the shops are closed in Austria. So that was already a new experience, because I was planning to go shopping and, just around the city, and buy those things that I forget to pack. And even my laptop died on my very first day, so I lost almost every connection with my friends and family. I only have my phone, but when it's Sunday and you are at a new place and you plan to go around the city, do the shopping, and then watch some Netflix, and then you just realize that the shops are closed and your laptop is not working, then it's not that nice.
And you were working the Monday after, right? You started already.
I started at the very next day.
How
But
was
everything
it?
was okay. So after that, everything went fine. I bought a new laptop. I figured out the shop openings, and after that, everything was just fine. So if I think about and look back to that experience altogether, I wouldn't change anything. Like, it was part of the experience, and just don't
Yeah.
overreact and overthink when you go. So these things can happen. I don't know anybody whoever planned the life, and everything just happened so smoothly, and everything was positive, and nothing goes wrong, because that's a non-existent thing. That's just an idea that we think that it's gonna happen as we plan, but it's not.
Yes, actually, also for me, the first day was not that easy. Even, I mean, for me, Polish language was so complicated to understand because I really couldn't understand a word. So even to book the travel ticket, I realized when I was traveling that I booked it for I don't remember if it was for the day after or for the day before, but was not for the day where I was traveling. And so I had some problem in the train. And then when I arrived, I didn't know how to arrive to my flat. Also, I wanted to say that actually the IB program, they don't offer you the accommodation, but they offer you some money to cover this expense. And how did you manage? Do you manage to find accommodation by yourself?
Honestly, that was the hardest part of the IB program. So if I have to say something that what was bad about it, that was the accommodation. But in the end, I managed, and I managed very well, because I lived with an Austrian girl, and we became friends. So it was very nice. But for the first months, I lived in an Airbnb when I moved there. So the first months I spent in an Airbnb, and meanwhile I was looking for a flat. And in the end, I found it via my friends, so it was nice. But that was the hardest part. When
Yeah.
this accommodation things was managed, then I was really fine and happy.
Yes, I can understand. I was living in a studio, so I was living alone, which was a bit a challenge for me because it has been the first time for me, and also to see, if I was able to do it. But as well for me, I think the first two months, I lived in a student's residence because actually I think it was a good option because it was cheap, and I had the time to look for an apartment later.
You are very
So.
brave, because I think living alone abroad can be very depressing and isolating.
But for me, actually, it was not the first time, so I was a bit used, to travel, to meet new people. So, hello, Paulina, nice to see you, and hello, Millie, nice that you're joining us. I hope that we're giving you some new ideas and new inspiration. So, Diana, as you said, the overall experience it was good, right?
Yes, overall it was very good, over the expected. So it helped my career. I still have a connection to that organization. We regularly meet at least once or twice a year. I have a good connection with my supervisor, with my former colleagues. So it was all nice. And I have very good memories about Austria in the end. So it was just a bit problem with the accommodation, but everything was fine.
How many hours per day were you working? How was your working day?
I was working like regular work, like an office job, but it was not that strict. So I was working in communication, which means that I was in an office, but in communication, you are also organizing events, you go to designers, you have many different tasks, and it's different day to day. So I was very happy about my schedule and my job. And it was. So it was just a regular day, but I had, for instance, I mentioned that I traveled a lot during that time, and I was allowed to travel. So my colleagues and my supervisor never say anything bad. If I wanted to go and, for instance, I don't know, do a long weekend, they didn't have any bad words about it. So it was not like when you are working in a company from 9 to 5, and you have 20 days of holidays per year. So it was not like that. You could agree with your supervisor how many days you would like to take off, and it
Yeah,
was
that's
very
good.
with that traveling.
Actually, in my case, I was working from. I had 3 days off per week, so even Friday, I always had the long weekend in order to be able to travel also. So I think it's good. We have some questions also from our participants. So, Billy, I hope I pronounce your name right. She's asking us, hi, I'm from Tunisia. I like volunteering work. I want to have my first experience. So I hope that this talk could be interesting for you. I hope that you can find some good solution through the IB program or through one of the programs that we have in our guide as well. And then there is Laura telling us, could you share with us also a bit of your experience with the European Commission? I think this is for you, Diana.
With the commission, I was working for the parliament, not the commission, but of course, I
So you
can
were
talk.
volunteering in the European Commission, right? Through this program.
The Ivy is, I think the Ivy is coming from the commission. Like the funding organization is AER, like the Association of European Border Regions, and it's part of the European Solidarity Corps, which is managed by the European Commission. So that's how it's connected. That's what I wanted to explain. And yes, I was at the Committee of Regions in Brussels with the Commission. It was really nice. I met with other IVs there. We had a cocktail evening. I don't know what you would like to know about it particularly, because I was thinking about that you are mentioning my previous experience with the Parliament, because before the IB I was doing another experience with the Parliament. That was
Still,
also
was it still an European program with the Parliament?
I was a Schumann scholar, but I didn't go abroad with that. I was living in Budapest, which is in my home country, in Hungary. I only went abroad just for the plenary session to Strasbourg. So that was my European Parliament experience, and this is why I told you that I had 1 year, one gap year. So I had 5 months at the European Parliament program, which is a graduate traineeship program, and then I went for my IB, and that's how I found about the IB experience, because it was in the European Parliament's office. So it was meant to be there, I think.
But also, I mean, for me, it's very cool to see some so young people that are able, to join the European Parliament, to see how does it work, to be so active also, even just for the personal skills. I think it's very interesting.
I think it was good altogether to have the Parliament experience and with the IB, because my organization, when they first contacted me about the IB experience, because prior you go abroad, they call you, or I don't know how it happened in your case, but it was for me like a job interview. So my supervisor called me and asked me question. It was really nice, so nothing stressful, but I remember that he was very happy that I had the experience with the European Parliament. Because as I mentioned, the IB program, so it's about cohesion policy, and of course has a connection with the European Commission as well. So they really appreciated this experience.
We still have one question from Billy. I want to know where I can find the opportunities. So I want to tell you again that actually we prepared a guide for all the mobility programs. Actually, are for volunteering, internship, or working abroad. There are different kinds of opportunities that you can get. The one that we are talking about today is the IB program, and Diana, she took part of this program last year for Alphaneer. She's sharing with us her experience. There are many ways how you can find these opportunities. In our guide, there are 14 different kinds, according also to what you are looking for. It really depends.
Actually, I can tell you how I found it and how I registered, if you would like to know.
For you, because I know that the IB program is not that easy to find. I mean, it's not as well known as, for example, an EVS. How was it for you?
As I mentioned previously, that I found it in the office. It was in a small leaflet about they are looking for Interreg volunteer youth reporter because there are two ways. You can be a reporter or you can be a project partner, I think. That's the other. So I was a reporter. That means that I was working in communication. But to go to an Ivy, you have to go to the European Solidarity.
I was a project partner.
Yeah, so you were in the different project. But so you have to go to the European Solidarity Corps website and register there. And you can choose the countries that you would like to go. You can write about a bit yourself and what you are aimed with the program and such kind of things. It's very easy. It took like 10 minutes for me. You can even upload a photo, CV. I cannot really remember what was there because it was a long time ago, but I remember it's a very easy website. So you just register and it happened to me very quickly. It didn't take not even a month that they called me that they have an opportunity in Austria. I actually never prepared myself to go to Austria. So it just happened. But, when the opportunity comes, you just go.
Yeah, but sometimes it's the best way, you just need to take the opportunities that life is giving to you.
Yes, so don't, that's my advice, that don't overthink it. Like everybody told me that it's not the best idea to do an experience when I was 26-year-old and I already had a normal job. That's why I'm not going back to work like normal people do, and why I do volunteering because it will affect badly my career, and why I'm only just going to Austria, which is very close to Budapest, so there will be nothing different there. But it's actually not true. So I could see the cultural difference, the difference in the lifestyle, of course, the language, and there were, I think, many differences. So even me experienced the kind of culture shock when I moved there, and then when I moved back, that's called reverse culture shock.
I think that your story shows a lot of braveness because I know there are many people who maybe don't like completely or don't feel fulfilled for the job that they have, but actually it's not that easy to make this jump. I think it's very important to do it if you want to be happy and to build a life that you really feel it's your life, but it's not that easy. So congratulations that you did it.
Thank you. But I was a very safe player because I only went to Austria, so I was thinking about it. If anything happens, I can still come back with a train. It's very close, but don't go home. Really, just you will manage, I think. And the other thing I wanted to mention that it really helped to move my career in one way in communication, because the company I was working, it was a big company, it's a very well-known company, but it was not, the job that I was doing, it was not in communication. And after that, it was just all fine because from that on, I have a job in communication, and I will move to Brussels if I can due to the COVID. So I'm still at home in Hungary now, but I have a job in Brussels. I'm working online now, and it's also in communication. So it's nice.
So congratulations again. You did it the second time. Brava. When will you leave? On September probably.
I think it's in September, but it depends on the Belgian government too, that they are expecting a second wave of coronavirus. Because I think it's not very useful to move there when you just in quarantine and sit alone in a house in a new country. So I will wait until I can really move and go out and meet with people. I'm not so afraid this time. I was really afraid when I was moving to Austria, but now it's okay, and I know what can I expect from myself regarding the move?
Yes, I think that this kind of program, for example, as the IB program, they give you so many soft skills that in the end you feel really much more comfortable on starting the future job or starting a new life abroad. I think this is very important.
Yeah,
I
I
wanted.
think my confidence is that with the loss of travel. So before that, I was really afraid to travel. I didn't even travel alone. But now I can go anywhere, anytime. I'm really happy about it and confident. And I believe that I can manage everything now. So it was very useful. If you are shy and you are afraid of doing things alone, as a young woman, just go for it.
I completely agree. It was the same for me. So I wanted to say hello to Federica, who is joining us. And also I wanted, there is a question about what were your tasks on a normal day? So you were volunteering on the communication field. What were you doing actually?
Yes, we had different projects. But I can tell you some examples. For instance, one of my very first tasks was to help with the conference organizing, and the conference was actually a very high level conference with 400 participants in Berlin. So it was a very big challenge for me to organizing a conference in Berlin because I never been to Berlin, I never lived the road. So I was sitting in Vienna and had to organize a conference in Berlin, which was quite of a challenge. And other task, I was working on website, so I also learned that. Sometimes I was working with designers, photo editing, or handling their social media account. It was always very different. So there was no boring days. Like I didn't have the same task twice. So I was working everything that can you imagine in communication, like social media, website, writing press release, writing an article, searching for pictures, talking to people, lots of tasks.
Are you still in contact with the friends that you made there?
Yes. I had many friends in Austria now, and I'm even contact with my supervisor who gave me a recommendation to my current job. So I mean my job to Brussels. So he was one of the one who gave the recommendation. So it
That's
was
great.
yeah.
Okay, Diana. So let's proceed with the last questions that you already answered, but I want you to answer again if you can, for the people who just joined now. So, what kind of advice would you like to give to people that are just thinking to start the same experience that you did?
So be brave, look for the opportunities and take it when you have. So don't overthink that. For instance, I never planned to go to Austria. I would have preferred the UK or France because I wanted to learn French, but it was just the way it is and it was very fun. So don't overthink, just go for it. And if I could do something differently, I would stress less because I really stressed a lot about the accommodation, about what was going to happen to me, but don't do that. So just enjoy the experience when you have it because it will never happen again.
Yeah.
That's an experience for your life, and that only happened once. And be
Yeah.
persistent. It was very quick for me. I found the opportunity very quickly. But if you don't find it in 20 seconds, then just keep going and try it again and again. There are many opportunities out there.
Yes.
And to leave a job that you don't like because you will never know. It will always be. I think in my life it was always becoming better and better. So there is nothing to afraid of.
Yes. I agree with you. Also, it's important to not lose motivation, as you said. In my case, I applied for my first IB experience, I think maybe 3 years ago, and I wasn't selected. So for me, it was a bit sad. But then I keep applying, and in the end, after a while, I've been selected, and I had my experience. So don't lose motivation. This is important.
I
Okay,
think
so
is okay in these kind of opportunities. For instance, for the European Parliament program, I applied 6 times before I got in. So
yes.
keep going.
Also, there are many opportunities even for different nationalities, even not only for European. This is something that I wanted to underline, because even if you are not European, there are some opportunities for you, and even for all ages. So just be sure of the place where you want to go, what you would like to do, and for sure there are some opportunities for you. So thank you so much, Diana, for sharing with us your experience, for your time, and for this inspiring talk. I hope that we will have maybe a second round with you when you will start your job in Brussels. It would be great if you would
I'm
like to
really
share with us.
looking forward to that, honestly.
So we will keep in touch with you, and thank you to all of you for following us and for watching our talk, the talk of today.
Thank you,
Have a
Milena,
nice.
and thank you for the questions and for the invitation again. Have a nice
Thanks to
evening.
you. Have a nice Sunday. Bye.
Bye.